Hello, people. How are you doing today? And yeah, I am. Oh, a quick introduction of myself. I'm Olale Kainok, the founder and CEO at Racktor, Editors of Global, and a lot more to come. Yeah, so of course, this is Racktor space. So let's be Racktor. Yeah, so we launched the what's it called now? Analysis Assistant, the indicator on TradingView now to help you simplify your trading analysis probably a little bit more faster so that you can spot things. One of the issues that I had when I was starting out trading was the fact that I couldn't exactly pinpoint what is what. I had a lot of people say, okay, this is lower high, lower low. I mean, what the heck is lower high? What the heck is lower low? This thing is subjective. I can see it in a certain way and it could be wrong, and I can see it in a certain way, it could be right. So why can't we just have something that gives it a much more better approach to things, that we can view it, that we can all agree that okay, 80% of probability this prints it on our chart correctly. So that is why we did this, and it's absolutely for free. You can add it to your charts, do whatever you want with it. Adjust the settings. It comes with a lot of settings that you can adjust it with. However, of course, some things work more dynamically with Racktor's in-house strategy that you have to learn if you are interested in. Of course, it's not something hard. It's just a simple process that you go through and then you learn and all. But if you can still definitely apply it to your own strategy and see how it works with you, especially if you're trading market structure. So it helps you to identify the current trend. It helps you to identify when probably you are having a potential pullback, or when when the market's about to turn, or maybe your lower time frame is just adjusting to the higher time frame pullback. Everything it just give you the overall bias of the market. So yeah, so a quick run through. First off, you might not see it directly here, probably because it's freshly published, so you might not see it. Let's just type Racktor, for example. Yeah, you might not see. Oh, I have quite a number of tests, blah blah blah. Yeah, you might not exactly see it here now. As you can see, it's not there yet. All of these are just private in terms of when I was doing the whole coding, testing, and all of that. So yeah, it might not appear there yet. That's why you need the link. And with the link, you can definitely just copy it in your browser. Ensure it's the same browser that you have your TradingView. Just copy the link, paste it on your browser, and then straight down. You can get it. Of course, you can always get a link from our Telegram channel. The link should be in the description somewhere, or just go to Telegram and search Racktor. I think the name of the channel is a quick one. Let me open it for you guys so you can always have access to it. Yeah, Racktor Community with a code bracket, the AI trader. So it's more like an AI trader community that you can have access to. So definitely you get to this landing page and also give us a boost. And give us a boost. This just runs through. You can read through this material, but I'm not exactly going to go through all of that. Yeah, because of I'm still going to do much more explanation inside of the indicator itself. So yeah, I won't be going through that, but you can definitely read through to have some theoretical background and all. And so how can you apply it to your chart? Just click on use on chart and it shows for it. Excuse me. And yeah, so we have it on chart here. We have two, probably one has been there already. Okay, and by default, this is what shows up. Why? Because it might be different for you depending on your background. For me, I love dark team view because, of course, if you're spending a lot of time on your charts, you definitely you want to protect your eyes for a long time. So yeah, so basically you can see it's plotting your break of structure, change of character, break of structure, change of character. However, how big and how wide all of this is, you can definitely adjust that. That's up to you. But we're just going to go through the settings for now. And I'm going to explain what this red dots, green dots, they don't mean place a trade. Yeah, because some people will be like, oh, so I can just place trades there. No, you can't just place trades there. These are post-market view of things. Now, there's a reason why we have all of these dots there. I'm going to show you right in the settings just about now, but they are not for trade signals. All right, so that being out of the way, so yeah, we have a pivot period because it's built around the zigzag indicator, the primary indicator itself. Because however, what you find in the primary zigzag indicator is that you can separate a minor structure from the major structure. And as you know, that markets have inside a major structure, there's always a minor structure that has its own structure or that has its own trend. So in every uptrend, there is always a downtrend that facilitates the pullback of the uptrend. How are we together now? So in a higher time frame, for example, you have something like this. Let me do a quick draw. So let's say on a higher time frame, you have something. Okay, you have something like this, right? And this that you're seeing here, this pullback here, on a lower time frame, it's a downtrend. Now, for a downtrend, it's gonna be something around something like this, and all of that. So that's been you having that in mind, you can by this indicator tell that inside of this long sweep of uptrend, all of this bear candle, all of these pullbacks, they are more like a big shift of character or change in structure on a lower trend. So one of the things that these indicators helps you do to identify when you are in an uptrend on a higher time frame, or when you're in a pullback phase and it's more like a downtrend on a lower time frame. So yeah, that's of course if you learn the Racktor trading strategy itself, you know a lot more about this. But primarily, if you're a trader, definitely you should know about microstructure and all of that, and so that shouldn't be much of a big deal. So yeah, I love that we have this pivot period for a lower time frame and pivot period for a higher time frame. Now, the higher the number, the more room it takes for the structure to shift. Now, as you can see, very quick change here. Of course, if you're drawing manually, you can say a break of structure, a change of character happens at the break of this low, which you're correct. But if you want to be much more aggressive, you can just reduce it and it breaks, and your break of structure will be readjusted to the nearest BOS, the nearest accumulation that led to the major break of structure here. So by the time price closed below where the last consolidation happened, you can say that's a shift of character other than waiting to this downside here. So that's up to you for you to adjust. Now, what you see on the higher time frame, the level of reaction you see on the higher time frame is different from what you see on a lower time frame. So for me, I like using a lower number on a lower time frame, and the reason is that I love more reactions. I love more faster move on a lower time frame than on a higher time frame, because my higher time frame is more like the principal time frame in use, while the lower time frame is just for entries and all of that, and shifts in structures, majorly for my entries and all. All right. So that being said, of course, you can have your label to show your lower high, your lower low, and all of that. Your major lower high, major lower low, minor lower high, minor lower low. Yeah. So this you can obviously just come down to adjust the color. We have major, and also have minor. Major is when the entire structure itself is being shifted, and minor are those internal small pullbacks that you have. You get what I'm saying? So those are details of minor. And I love using the minor at times because the minor helps you know exactly where, because for every break of structure, you expect this to happen. You expect a pullback and then a continuous run, right? But the question is, where will that continuous run happen? Should I use one of the things I got confused at the time? Should I use this part because there's an accumulation here? Should I use here, or should I come down here? But with this indicator, so to say, you can definitely just use the closest minor structure break. Now, and as you can see, by the time you look down here and then you refine the whole settings, you can see the moment price goes into the most recent minor structure break, the the consolidation that led to the range that led to the break of this minor structure. When market pulls into it, you can see we have a sharp reaction, and of course, the market pushed back down, but then we can see that we had a sharp reactions from here, and that tells you, instead of just waiting down, you can see by the time market comes down here, it didn't really respect this at first. It broke to a week under it. So if you're waiting, imagine waiting here, so probably this is the last how do quite a number of people to say it, so this is the last other block that led to that run that broke structure. Of course, there is a place for all strategy, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this is all that you need to know. There's a place for all strategy, but what I'm saying is, when you're dealing with this, especially when you're trading market structure primarily, you need to know exactly where your potential pullbacks would be. Are we together now? So that's one of the reasons why I love having my minor structure show up. Of course, because it's minor, I don't want it to cluster. You see more of it. I don't want to cluster my chart. I just like it without the color there, and that's what we have here as our default color. So you can do well to adjust your settings. That's up to you. Now, the question is, what's the difference between change of character and break of structure? Break of structure is when you are having a break that is continuing with a trend, or the continuous break you have after a major change of character in that direction. Let me give you for example now. Now we have here a major change of character, meaning that we are moving from bullish to bearish. That's what it means. That's what it means. Now, that's the first thing. So you see that market has shifted from bearish to bullish. All right. Then the continuous push to the upside then gives us this break of structure. Of course, you can label it break of structure, but just to bring in clarity, we say, okay, let's just go with the most popular terminology so as not to bring in confusion or and all of that type of thing. Clarity is the way to the money. If it's not clear enough, it's not sustainable enough. All right. So, yeah, and here we have a lot. Now, you can add. Now, the reason for this is that for every break of structure you have or change of character you have, you can have a lot on end of this time frame, but you have to set it by yourself. However, let's say you want a lot on the 5 minutes change of character or 5 minutes break of structure. You have to change. You have to change this 1 to 5. If you don't do that, and then you come to your alert section, add the indicator, create alert, for example, and you select 5 minutes time frame. Yes, create an alert. Of course, you can change the time frame wherever you need the alert. Let's go to minutes. Let's go to 5 minutes, for example. And yeah, you select ensure that the indicator is selected. For expiration, if you're on a free model, the expiration is, if you're on a free model, you only have 2 months of expiration. But if you're in a premium model, on my other account, it's a premium account. The alert can be open in the minute it doesn't expire. Of course, after 2 months it expired, come again, do the same thing again. So there's no big deal on that. So yeah, so what I'm just saying in essence is that you must have the number of the time frame whose structure you want to get an alert instead of sitting on chat and waiting for a break, right? Yeah, and the next is that we have inside bar. Now, inside bars, inside a Racktor strategy, we use inside bars to detect pressure points in the market where market is potentially going to react. Let me look for a scenario. Cool. Now, this is I'm looking for much interesting scenario so we can work. I've seen one actually, but I would prefer something a lot more. I don't want to use the word complicated, but okay. Anyway, since I couldn't get another example, let's just work with the ones that I've found here. Where again? Okay, this for example. Now, inside bar is when you have a most recently closed bar that did not break the low or the high of the former bar beside it. So as you can see, this for example, and this is like an inside bar. What this tells us that we had experienced a fight between the upside, the upside, and then the downside, and then the upside, then before breaking down. So what this explains to us is that we are experiencing some sort of pressure point here, meaning that this shows us that there is some level of demand here, all right, that tries to push back price probably to the upside or to the downside. But because of our trend, of course, our trend tells us that we are now bearish, meaning that we need. Remember when I told you that we need a place whereby price can react from? Remember when I said that earlier? Now here we see that there is no minor structure here. But what are the other things that we can look at is close to minor structure? It's inside bar. So you can definitely go into the indicator and change the color, and you can see that when the color changes, it looks like a bear candle, but definitely it's an inside bar. So one of the things that make me see it much more faster is the fact that I can change the color here to what I want, and of course I can still make the color, let's say orange. That will be more shouty. I mean, I'm not a shouty color type of person, so you can see it's more obvious to you. So in the place where you don't have a minor structure inside your major structure to give you where market is potentially going to reverse, the next thing you can do is look for the nearest inside bar and look for some reaction that you can see. The moment price touches into this inside bar, you can see exactly what happens, and you can just have your stop here. Of course, you can refine it more further by going to the lower time frame, have your stop with some clearance above it, and maybe 1:2 or something. You're good. Or is up to 1:3? My standard is 1:3, but inside the Racktor strategy we use 1:5. Standard is 1:5, standard 700. But if you're trading, that's for, I'm not going to say that's for the Racktor system. So you can see that market reacts exactly from this pullback phase, and then from this inside bar phase, and then push to the upside. You can see the same thing here. Market reacted from here, as you can see, it didn't close below it, reacted from it, pushed to the upside. So those are things that inside bar helps you to see a lot more further. Okay, moving on to the next settings here. Now we have our session timing range, just to show you, because we don't trade it is Asian session, although sometimes I personally do, but inside the community we exactly don't trade it. Of course, you might be sleeping at the time, especially if you're in Africa or some other part of the world where Asian session is active, but it is not always recommended to trade Asian session. Sorry about that. Asian session. But if you're a positions trader or a swing trader, definitely you can trade Asian session. However, if you're trading with assets that has to do with, let's say Euro, USD, GBP, the major currencies, I don't recommend trading Asian session. Oh God. Wow, that's terrific. Of course, we can see that it's not appearing, or it's not showing forth on 4-hour time frame. That is because we don't exactly need it on 4 hours, but we definitely do need it on a much more lower time frame. So we can see that's why it's colored gray. So those gray area are where we have our Asian session. All right, so you can avoid trades there. You can also use them as liquidity. You can see that by the time price comes to mitigate this area that we have, that smooth trade, you can see that it's during an Asian session. Yeah, by the time you refine it further, of course, you can see refining further. You can see there's another inside bar here within the M30 time frame, and then see what happens. Price almost closely respected that, because of course it doesn't have to come to the upside. Definitely you learn much of that when you come to the community or join the community or watch any of our free tutorials and all. But this is just more about the indicator, not about strategy. All right, so yeah, you can trade with the Asian session if you want. Adjust the timing here till it suits your timing. There's no restriction to how much you can adjust. You can show breakout levels. You can show whatever it is you want to show. You can show, okay, this is where market broke. That's why you're seeing the color orange, red, and green, and all of that. So yeah, you can add alerts, but here I don't use alerts. It's just, you can show previous day high or previous day low if you want, but primarily we don't need all of that, so we don't show them. Okay, now let's move on to let's move back to our 4 hour, because our 4 hours is more of like a major time frame inside the Racktor community, inside our trading strategy. You can see there's something called inside our indicator analysis assistant called BTS, not the BT analysis, or STB, meaning that buy to sell or sell to buy trap detection. Now, especially when you are in a trending market and there's no pullback, especially in the face of all-time highs or in a very aggressively trending market, because we trade at every point of pullback. So does that mean that we have to wait? Now, if you look at it technically speaking, this is a higher time frame break of structure. So technically, this is where we are waiting for price to pull back into. But we see that the moment we had this break of structure since the 1st of August, even till date, till 18th of August, price hasn't pushed into this. And there's no, how do I not know what to trade when I'm waiting for price? That is where we now have our buy to sell or sell to buy wick detector. Now, I know by looking at this that, okay, where's this? Okay, that, okay, I'm in an uptrend. That's been established. However, so what should I look for? I should continuously look for a buy trade, right? So what do I do? By the time I have a sell to buy wick, this is because this pressure means a sell pressure. And of course, we see that price pulled down a little bit, but at the end of the day, we have this bullish pressure. So this green dot showed me that, oh, there is a sell to buy pressure here. So what do I look for? And then I can refine further to this wick, waiting for price to push right into this wick, and then expect what? Okay, let me make the color a lot more visible. That's a quite annoying color. Yeah, good. Color is more visible there. So what do I see? Price pushed back into this area of demand here, and then pushed it upside. The same thing happens that it didn't close below, it pushed into it. Of course, it wicked into it. But by the time you go to the lower time, if I do not look at lower time frame, look for your confirmation entry, and then you ride the trend. Now you can see that you have a short buy to sell wick detection up here. I don't recommend trading it because it is not with the key trend here. Remember, we are in an uptrend, so because it's not with the key trend, we ignore the sell to buy. We only focus on the buy to sell. Of course, at some point, it's not going to work in terms of, oh, it didn't play out well, like here. It didn't play out well here. There's a close below here, and but then price rallies back to the upside. So that is why it's almost much better that you use a lower time frame confirmation. If there's a lower time frame shift or structure inside of this zone, then you can trade it, especially since price has not closed below it. But the moment price closes below it, then you can trade it any further. So that's just what the STB or BTS really means, and that's how it works. Okay, moving on. Of course, you can change the timing and all of that. So we have our watermark here. This episode should grow much better, so do well to leave it on your chart. It's not disturbing you. It's not what's it called now? Of course, you can show the symbol. Definitely, the symbol is down here. Yeah, of course. I mean, it makes a lot more sense to show the symbol info for me, especially when you are doing documentation. You don't have to be typing the name of the what's it called now? Just saving the image. You don't have to be typing the name of the currency or the asset you're trading and all of that. And yeah, so that's pretty much how the whole indicator works. I hope you enjoyed. Put it to good use. Talk about it. Share it to your friends. Share it to your co-traders. Analyze your trades with it. Yeah, there's one thing we removed: volume profile, because a lot of these days we see that how you can use order flow, you can bring in order flow, but the reason why we didn't leave it there is because you can backtest with a volume profile because of historical data that you need and much time frame intricacies within the code and all of that. So that is why it's not there. If it were to be that, we can, it's part of our free offers, but because you can backtest with it, that's why we removed it. And if we're able to find a way around it, then we'll bring it back. Or else, then probably by the time we launch the pro version, you can then backtest with the free version and then live trade with the pro version and all of that. So just find a way around it. So yeah, leave your comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Let us know anything you feel about the indicator, how it's helping you trade. That is much more important. How is it helping you trade? How is it helping you become a better trader and see the market more clearly and clearer? Of course, it's not going to be pitch perfect. That's why you need knowledge aside it. But one good thing about trading is you can always tailor-made it to yourself. You can always readjust it to yourself. And the Racktor community is open for people who want to learn how to trade. All right. Before, we don't do how to trade, but now we are open to training you on how to trade. If once you're interested in learning how to trade, definitely we have a course for you to go through, and then you become a better trader, making more money. Making more money with confidence, not that you are scared of placing a trade. No, getting to a point whereby your confidence is airtight. You know why you're trading. Even if it doesn't play out, you know why it's not playing out. Even though it plays out well, you know why it plays out. So you're not second guessing yourself. You're not doubting your trades and all of that. So that's the goal for all of this. Put it to good use. Give us a very good review. Give us a very good boost here. Yeah, give us a good boost here. We really appreciate that, so that by the time other people come in, they can just come into the chat and then type in Racktor, then it pops out instead of waiting for the link. And you can help us do that and get to that point. You can leave us your comment here or your comment in the community. Thank you very much. We love you, and we wish you a bluesful trading experience. Cheers.